So, if you clicked on this video, I'm guessing you're finding yourself in a very tricky position. You just graduated college, you have your college degree, but it is a struggle to find a new job. Now, I went through this exact same experience, but you know the crazy thing is, we're always told, hey, go to college, go to a good school, get a good degree, you're never gonna have a trouble finding a job. You're gonna get you a good job after graduating, and you're gonna be stable. You're gonna have stability after college. All you need to do is get your degree. But I think we're now more so finding out it's not very true. It's not exactly true because it is currently very difficult to find a job after college. Now I'm gonna tell you about my experience and how it was for me. It's gonna be a little story time. But first, I have to set the scene. So I went to a very good university. I studied business. I did marketing. I went to the business school. It's a very selective business school. It's a great business school. It is a public university, but it's still a good business school. If you're from Massachusetts or the Northeast, you probably heard of Eisenberg or UMass Amherst. I went there. I got a degree in marketing. I also did a double major in Spanish as well. So I speak Arabic, Spanish, and English. And I got my degree. I graduated last year in May of 2022. The story of getting my first job out of college, my first big boy real job. So I have to take it back all the way to 2021, or to be more precise, winter break of 2021, which fell around November, December of 2021. So around this time, I came back home for a break and I worked as a resident assistant back when I was in university. A resident assistant, if you don't know, it's RA. It is pretty much you have control of a floor and you organize events and you're kind of like the authority on that floor of your dorm building. So it's not a job, it doesn't pay a ton. The biggest benefit of it is that you get free housing. But for last year, I think the payment that they gave us like $150 every 2 weeks, something like that. They changed it since then, but and during my time there, it was around that, around 200, maybe every 2 weeks. So as you can tell, I was not swimming in that money. I wasn't making a lot. So I came home for a winter break and I had this period where I wasn't gonna even get that 200 every 2 weeks. I was dead broke. I had no money. I wasn't gonna make any money because they weren't gonna pay us because we were away from the university for that winter break. So looked into getting any job I could, and I landed upon Amazon, the Amazon warehouse. Now, if you worked in an Amazon warehouse before, you know what it's like. It's very easy to get the job. There's no interview. They don't check your resume. You don't need to have any experience. It's pretty much you apply. They're just always recruiting, desperate for people because they have a high turnover. People quit all the time, so they're just always looking for people. I found one online, applied like that same day. They're like, okay, come do all they do is drug test you. Come do the drug test tomorrow. I pulled up to the drug test, got a drug test, and they're like, boom, you start next week. I'm like, perfect. I'll make some money this winter break, and I'm gonna work on my own schedule. You pick your own schedule. You can work as many hours you want a week as long as you take one shift, and the pay is decent, for little winter job that I know I'm gonna leave in a month. They paid like 18 an hour. If you worked on Sunday, sometimes you could get like 22, which was like crazy to me. I was like, damn, I ought to be balling. Little did I know how terrible and dreadful that job is at Amazon. How difficult it is physically, how physically draining it is. And it was not a great experience for me. So I started, the first week wasn't too bad. I was just training. So we were like in a room all day just watching videos and I was getting paid for it. So I was like, this is cool. I'm excited to get started. So then I start. And if you've never walked into an Amazon warehouse before, it is like a rat laboratory. Literally, there's bright white lights. There's no natural light in there. So even, because it works 24/7. So even if it's 4 a.m., they're going to have those bright lights in there to make you think that it's still daytime, so you're still grinding. There's just people with their phones that are, by the way, tracked by the managers, so they know exactly where you are in the warehouse and how fast you're packing orders. So they're on top of your ass. And then there's a section called the freezer, which is below freezing temperature. I think it's like below even normal freezer temperature. So it's like -15 there. If you go in there without a glove, your finger will literally fall off. You'll get frostbite, your fingers will fall off. And everyone has to do a shift in there. During, I think, one shift a week or something in the freezer. You gotta stay in there for, packing vegetables or meat or whatever. Terrible. So as I start working, reality kind of sets on me. It dawns on me. I'm like, is is this the reality of what it's like to work like a non-college degree job? And then I start to realize I haven't worked on my resume, haven't had any internships or real work experience in business during my time here in college. These past 3.5 years, I haven't done anything. And I haven't been looking for jobs. You see, my expectation was, this was my thought. I'm gonna go to college and then somehow I'm just gonna land in a job. It's gonna be easy, right? I have a college degree from a good business school in marketing. I have a bunch of different skills. It's gonna be easy to get a job. So I was delaying it, but now it's December. In this shit warehouse job that I cannot imagine myself doing if I don't find a real, decent job. But I have no job prospects, I don't have a resume, and I have no idea what it's like to interview or look for jobs. So reality sets in. And it was pretty shocking. I was like, damn, I gotta really, really wake up. I have to wake up. I've slept these past 3 years, 3.5 in college, bad habits, not really working on anything, not being purposeful, just, doing good in school still, but besides that, not doing much with all this free time I had. Because when you're in college, you get a ton of free time. So as I'm working this warehouse job, I get this newfound motivation, this burning desire inside me that I gotta figure shit out. So during winter break, I work my warehouse job pretty much every day, and I come home motivated every single day to work on my resume. Like grind on that resume, cover letters, get my resume as good as I possibly can. So as time, the first week goes by, now I have a solid resume, I got some cover letters. The resume is not nothing fantastic, but it's decent enough to start applying, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for jobs, finding some, applying. Back then, it wasn't as terrible as it is right now in 2023. It is absolutely terrible. I feel for all college grads. But I want you to take some from my experience to, maybe some things are going to help you. So I'm applying to jobs, nothing. All winter break, nothing. Apply. No, not even interviews. Just, hey, we're sorry to inform you, you weren't selected. So now I'm like, I have 4 months till I graduate. And I need to find this job, or else I'm screwed. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna stay at home, broke, no money, work back at the Amazon warehouse again? Like, I couldn't accept it. I couldn't fathom that. So I'm still grinding. January, applying, nothing. March, I start picking up the new method. I'm like, you know what? Clearly, just applying is not working. I don't have an amazing resume, so I need to get myself out there somehow. And this is a tip that I have for anyone out there right now who's struggling. So I come to the realization I have to get myself in contact with relevant people. So I attend a few career fairs, make some connections. They're virtual, which is not great because in person is way different. You make an impression on that person versus just virtually you're asking the same questions that probably the next person is gonna ask, right? You don't get a chance to stand out with your posture, with your demeanor, with your charisma in person. So I make some decent connections and I'm realizing this is gonna be the way. So now as I apply to jobs, I'm also reaching out, messaging everyone. The limiting belief that I used to always have is, why am I gonna, let me just apply, or if I reach out, they're not gonna wanna help me out, they're not gonna wanna speak to me anyway, so what's the point? But if you have this, I want you to eliminate this feeling, eliminate this limiting belief from your mind right now. If you want to get a job, you need to put yourself out there more aggressively than ever before. Just applying absolutely does not work, and anyone who has experience in the past 1 or 2 years is gonna tell you, doesn't work. You need to get direct contact with relevant people. So as time passes, I'm getting more direct contact. Still, no interview, no job offer, but I'm getting closer. I doubled down on it until I attended one career fair where I spoke to someone and they, I liked what I heard and we kind of developed a more closer connection. And they're like, yeah, the job posting is gonna go up. I want you to apply for it. It'll definitely be great for you. Then I applied for it and I messaged them after the career fair and I get no reply. So now I'm like, damn, they tricked me, and now it's April, beginning of April, 2022. I graduate next month, keep in mind, in May of 2022. So they don't reply. I wait a week. I think I waited a week or two, and then I see that they posted something on their LinkedIn about, hey, we're hiring for this position. I'm like, I'm gonna go for it again. Even though they didn't reply last time, let's go for it. You really have to be relentless. If you wanna get a job now, you have to be relentless. You can't give up. So I messaged them again. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to let you know we spoke this time ago. I applied to the job. Definitely interested. And she replies the next day. I think that same exact day. I don't exactly remember. She's like, hey, Eamon, great to hear that you're interested. when after you apply, which I had already done, she said send fill out this form and send it to me, and then send me some times that you're available for a phone call. So I'm like, boom, got it. Finally, an opportunity. You only need one. Just remember that you only need one. Think about this. No matter how bad of a basketball player you are, if you go out to the court and you just keep shooting and shooting and shooting, even half-court shots, eventually, it may take you 1,000 attempts, but eventually one of those shots is going to go in, right? So this is exactly how it is right now with jobs. It's like being a terrible basketball player and just taking half-court shots. But you got to know that eventually one is going to go in. So we meet up, we talk on the phone. Didn't actually meet up physically. We spoke on the phone. It was like a pre-interview. She's like, hey, okay, well, everything sounds good. We're gonna get you in for an interview. Send me sometimes you're available for a real interview, and it's like called a super day. So it's like 3 different interviews in one day with 3 different managers, and they kind of all ask you relatively similar questions. You just need to get a lot of stories. Make sure you have stories. Use something called the STAR framework: situation, task. I forgot the rest of it, but look it up. The R is result. A is action. So I think situation, task, action, result, STAR method. So I used that, and then I did good in the interviews, and then lo and behold, a week later I get the job offer, and I'm ecstatic. Finally, I've done it. I've got a job. Honestly, I'll be real with you guys. They weren't even very transparent like what the job function was. It was called business development consultant. So I thought I was going into consulting. I was like, this is awesome. After I got the job offer, and I was like, okay, maybe let me look into it a little more. I realized it was a sales job, so it was like cold calling and cold emails. But hey, I did not care. It was at a big tech company. I was gonna get, a comfortable job. I could now be in a desk, right? You don't realize how much of a blessing working in an air-conditioned office in a comfortable chair and desk is till after you grind it in the warehouse. That's when you realize, hey, shit out there is not sweet. You take what you get. So I was excited. I got a job, and it was all finalized by the end of April, like a few weeks before graduating. So I did it, but it was a very, very difficult journey. And that's why I want you guys to take from this. It is not going to be easy. If you're struggling right now, don't take it personal. It's not you. It is genuinely a very bad job market. But there's still things you can do. There's still steps you can take. You can still be actionable. Don't be passive. There's nothing worse than being passive and just accepting the situation, being a victim to circumstance or to your situation, because difficulties like this are going to come up a lot along your lifetime, right? So I want you to take this challenge, take it as a challenge, and be relentless. Don't just apply to jobs, be proactive. Don't just apply and sit back and, hey, they're going to get back to me or this and that. No. You have to have no shame. Really, you have to have no shame. You have to reach out to hiring managers and say, hey, I'm interested in this, a little bit about me. Give them 2 or 3 bullet points. Here's my resume, and I'd love to learn more about the position or be considered. If you have any questions about my background or my credentials, don't hesitate to reach out, and keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you make that one shot, because all you need is one opportunity. You're not going to work 5 jobs. You're only going to work 1 job. So you only need 1 chance, 1 interview, and 1 successful job opportunity, and you're set. Don't lose hope, guys. Keep grinding. Keep it up. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I'll try my best to answer. I've been down the job force, luckily. Haven't gotten laid off so far. Thank God. In it for a year, so I can definitely answer some questions. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.